My people in the diaspora, welcome back to this channel where we discuss about diasporans experiences, especially for those who are thinking or planning to return back home. And if this is your first time here, my name is Maria and thank you and welcome. So today, let me just start by saying something that will really shock you here. If you're in abroad and you're thinking to build a house back home just to rent it out, please pause there. Before you spend £30,000 or £50,000 or even up to £100,000 just to build that house, please let's have an honest conversation first. Because what I'm about to share with you today, it might save you years of stress, years of family problems, and also years of financial regrets. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not here to discourage you to invest back home. I am here to tell you how to invest back home wisely without wasting your penny. Let me just tell you a short story about a friend of mine named Mohammed. Mohammed lives in the UK. He has been working very hard. Sometimes he would do double shifts, he would do night shifts just to save money. And he has been saving for over 12 years. And his dream was to build a rented properties back home in Sierra Leone. Because Mohammed has bought his land back home in Sierra Leone and the land has been sitting there, and people keep telling him, oh, Mohammed, if you leave your land just like that, your land doesn't depreciate if you just leave it empty like that. But if you build rented properties, you will rent people there, people will pay you, that will be your pension money. You will earn a lot of money out of renting those properties if you build a rented property. But if you leave your land as empty like this, one, you might lose your land, and also you're not generating money. So come and build a rented property so that you will make money. So Mohammed listened to whoever was advising him into that. So he decided to go back home to Sierra Leone, and then he built a 4-bedroom house. When he built a 4-bedroom house, it's not for him to stay or live there because he has his own house already. So he built that house to rent it out so that he would generate money there. And by the time he completed building that house, he found out that he spent almost £65,000 for 4-bedroom house in Sierra Leone. That was back then. So it cost him £65,000 by the time he completed the whole building project. And then after just 3 years, reality started hitting Mohammed, because number one, the challenges he started facing is the tenant that he rented the properties. Some tenants started delaying rent payment, and then some tenants who refused to pay. By the time Mohammed will go back to Sierra Leone, maybe to try to evict them, they are no longer there, and find out that the property has been damaged. So that means by the time they left, they have already damaged the property. That's number two. And the number three challenges he was facing was he left his cousin in charge of the house to oversee the house, like maintenances. And when he went there just to find out what was happening, the delay of payment, and as well as the tenant that left and damaged the whole place. Not only that, looking at the environment, the compound was very disgusting. There was no maintenances, pipe were bust everywhere, there are rubbish everywhere, some cracks in the house. There was no proper maintenance of the house. And the fourth issue that he faced was the tenant that left. Like in Sierra Leone, sometimes you have different way of paying your electricity. You have the pay as you go, and then you have the monthly one. Like if you fix a meter, and then the bill will comes monthly. So he fixed the monthly meter reading, thinking that the tenant will pay. The tenant that left the house, they left with a massive, massive debt of electricity bills they didn't pay. And then after the electricity was the water problem. There was a bill left, water. They were not paying the water bill as well. And not only that, even the pipes, the taps, they were all broken. Everything has just damaged in the property. So he has to find a plumber to come and fix all those pipes. And also that cost him money as well to fix all the damaged pipes. And then the last challenge that he faced was because Mohammed went to Sierra Leone during the rainy season time. So just like when it was raining, and now he realized that some part of the roofs, there are a lot of leakages. The rain was pouring down inside the house. The roof was leaking. So all these issues, all these challenges that he faced, it was just in the space of 3 years after building that house. So to Mohammed, after when he has calculated what he has received from the tenants for the past 3 years, and with all the expenditures that he faced, that he has to deal with, he now realized that he hasn't made anything at all for the past 3 years. He hasn't made anything from that house because all the money that was paid for the past 3 years, he has used it to make all those repairs. So that means he has left with zero. And not forgetting that he's still living in the UK and he still has a mortgage to pay in the UK. He still has bills to pay in the UK. And with all these challenges that Mohammed is facing, now he's feeling trapped, living in the UK as well as trying to make a dream back home. So now, let's just analyze Mohammed's property here now that you have listened to the story. You know, when you're living in abroad, you are managing your property. That is, if you have a property back home, you're renting it out and you're still living in abroad. How are you managing your property? Sometimes it's through by WhatsApp. Maybe they are sending you photos from WhatsApp. Or maybe you just rely on family telling you what is happening, or maybe you're relying on your caretaker, or if you use an agent, or maybe you're using your friends to go and have a look, oversee your property. But let's just be honest here. It's not everybody will be able to manage your property or your financial or your money well more than you, especially when it is not theirs. Even if there are repairs there, even if there are damages there, some of them, they don't care. Maybe they might think if I ask you or if I tell you there are things, wrong things are happening in the compound, because everybody is busy back home. Maybe they don't want to take that responsibility, so they might not tell you everything that is happening there because maybe they have their own problems, because maybe they don't want you to give more problems to them. So they will rather keep quiet rather than telling you the activities that is happening in your home. If you ask somebody to go and do an oversee of your house just to check, they won't tell you all the problems because they don't want you to give them more problems to solve. It's not theirs. It's not their house. It's not their money. It's yours. So they don't care. So that's the first thing that you need to think about. It's not everybody that will be able to manage your property if it's not theirs. So now let's do some simple mathematics here. Let's do the calculation. Let's say maybe you finish building your house, and maybe by the time you completed the building, it cost you like £60,000. Let's just say it roughly. It cost you like £60,000. And maybe you rent it out for £300 per month. And if you calculate £300 per month times 12, that is 1 year, that is £3,600 that you're getting for a year. That is, if the house is fully occupied for the whole full year, you will get £3,600 at the end of the year. And that is a 6% return before any maintenances. Now, let's subtract something here. Let's minus it. Let's remove repairs bills there if there is any repairs to do for the whole of that year. Or we're looking at maybe there are some times or some months when tenants were not renting the house. Maybe you didn't have the full capacity of the whole year to rent your tenant for the full year. And also, let's remove, maybe because of the inflations, maybe cost of living is hard, there are some tenants who refuse to pay you. So if you minus all this out of that £3,600 per year, so then you will realize that at the end of the year, because you are expecting to get £3,600 per year, but when you minus all these issues, the repairs, the inflations, if tenants were not paying you, or if the house was not occupied, maybe for a few months, if you minus all those out of that 3,600, and then you realize that you won't even get up to a 3,000 per year. So now, let's do another mathematics here. Let's just say maybe, yes, you're getting your £3,600 per year. Let's say you're getting that every year. Now, let's do another mathematics here. Let's just multiply this £3,600 per year. Let's say maybe you want to see how you can get your £60,000 back, because you have spent £60,000 to build that house. Let's just see how long will it take you to get your £60,000 back that you spent to build that house. So if you multiply £3,600 times 17 good years, this will get you about £61,200. That means that £60,000 you use to build that house, if you want to get your money back from that house, it will take you 17 good years before you can get a profit of £1,200. 17 good years before you can start getting your profit. That is, if you get the £3,600. So this is quite shocking, right? So what I'm just saying here, because a lot of diasporans, I've heard a lot of diasporans who are planning to go back home to build rented properties. They want, some are doing real estate, some are building bungalows, some are building flats to rent them out. This is just an example for just one house, how long it will take you for you to get your money out back before you start looking at profit. So what I'm trying to say here is, I'm not saying don't build a house back home. You can build a house if it's a residential house for yourself. That is where you are planning to go and live and stay. That is okay. But if you say you're going back home to build a rented properties, maybe real estate or maybe bungalows or flats to rent them out, thinking that you will go there, you make money, you start making big profits, just remember the story of Muhammad. This is just one house. This one house will take him 17 good years before he will start seeing profit. That is, if he has tenants renting the house for the whole year by year. So that's how long it will take you before you will start seeing profit. So now, we have come to the very important part now. If you're in the diaspora, instead of building a rented house, build something on that land that you have. Build something that will generate fast income that will come in on a daily basis. Something like, okay, you can build small shops on that land of yours, and then you can rent them out, because when you have shops is an everyday sales things. Money comes in on a daily basis. So you will never miss payment. Or you can do a plaza, or maybe a cinema, or maybe an event center on your land. Because when you open these business places, that is, if you want to make a shop or an event center or a plaza or office space or business space, it pays constantly. The money will come. The money will come to you regularly. It's very consistent. Like, for example, if you build a shop there, you rent it out, or maybe you're the one operating that shops. Shops things is a daily money thing, and you will get your money on a monthly basis compared to when you rented your house. If you build a house to rent it, Sometimes tenants will come and say, oh, I don't have money to pay. Oh, they haven't paid me yet. Oh, the month has ended, but they haven't paid me at the office. So there is no money to pay your rent. But when it's a shop, they are selling things, they are selling goods. So people are there. So they are getting money on a daily basis. So they've got money to pay you compared to renting a house. Because a house is not generating money, it's people going there to sleep. They are expecting money to come from their salary. And if they don't pay them salary, they won't be able to pay you. Unlike a shop owner sells every day, receive incomes every day. So they have the money to pay you at the end of the month. So if you're in the diaspora and you're planning to build a rented property or a rented house back home, comment below that you're rethinking that strategy after listening to this video today. Or better still, tell me if you have experienced this before and what has that experience been to you. Please leave your thoughts on the comment section below and let's discuss these issues. So my people, let us build wealth here and not stress. So if you find values on today's video, please don't forget to share it to someone who is currently planning to build some rented properties back home so that they will be able to learn something out of this video. So until next time, I will see you on Thursday and Saturday for my next upload. So take care now. I love you all. Bye.